Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some funny enough PlayStation 5 Pro news again, which has kind of been funny because we actually literally had a video as of yesterday discussing the PlayStation 6, but now we're actually kind of closely watching the PlayStation 5 Pro, where it does actually seem like we now have a release window, release timestamp, more information, and everything else in between. So we're going to go talk about this. This is all actually brand new information too as well. And of course, if you guys like kind of seeing this overall general gaming news or console news or even PlayStation news, etc., make sure you guys are subscribed. I want to remind you guys we actually have our brand new setup. I'm probably gonna actually start doing that today, maybe. So you guys maybe on maybe the next video, I'll give you guys a bit of a heads up or update on what's kind of going on, what's happening, and I'm gonna be adjusting up a lot of cool stuff. So stay tuned for that. And as well, we have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. If you guys want to follow, hang it over there, leave a like, your thoughts, and let's dive into the video. So as you guys have probably been hearing a decent bit, we've been seeing a lot more leaks, funny enough, on the PlayStation 6, which is quite a bit farther out. We also saw brand new leaked court documents discussing on the fact that the PlayStation 6 will probably be at earliest maybe 2027. I think the rumor date's more in 2028 as of what we've kind of been seeing as we're doing like this deep dive, looking at information and everything else. But now we are still waiting for this weird mid-generation console. Now, a lot of folks are still very skeptical on it because we're only at around like 32-ish million or so PlayStation sold, which is still good. But as you guys probably know, it's been like really hard to find one until maybe around 2 or 3 months ago. And even now, it's still harder, specifically in stores. Online's not so bad. So with this, we're actually kind of trying to find out more information on the PlayStation 5 Pro. And it does seem like it does have a confirmed, well, I don't want to say confirmed, but a very, very likely release window. So we're going to talk about this because it's kind of been the big gaming news of the day. So as you guys know, there's always going to be more consoles coming. As of right now, the Switch 2, Switch Pro, I actually made a video on that earlier on today, is in the works. We're seeing a lot of leaks, we're seeing development leaks, we're seeing company leaks, we're seeing a lot of leaks just overall in general that the next Switch will be coming. We just don't know exactly when. Same thing too as well with the Xbox Series X Pro. We haven't, funny enough, not even heard a single bit of rumors from that one, but we will probably assume that that's actually in the works and they're going to be making a new next generation console in the near future either way. There's no, without a doubt, there's like business meetings, there's people working on it, there's people probably getting paid a lot of money to go and develop it, work in the architecture and everything else in between. But now it's the same thing with the PlayStation 5 Pro, where the report where the PlayStation 5 Pro is in development and has a release window. Over here, saying, and a new report from Tom Henderson at Inside Gaming now says that Sony is indeed again doing a mid-generation PlayStation upgrade, the PlayStation 5 Pro, which is as of right this second currently in development. Which, number one, I want to say there's always going to be things in development. Now, we don't necessarily know exactly when, where, or how it's going to come out. Things could always get delayed, things could always get moved, and everything in between. It's like, it's one of those hard things to know. But when it comes to the details, is that no doubt they're going to make it. When it comes to getting internal graphics upgrades, they need this. In terms of making games move on better, they need this. At some point, we're going to have to go make the take to like 4K, 120 FPS games, or as well, 8K at some point. It's probably our next big cycle, probably for the PlayStation 5 or Pro. Probably not, but maybe the PlayStation 6. And as well, things like ray tracing, video games, and also better graphics. It kind of goes to show that we do need the improvements. So the report as of now states that first, Sony is going to be releasing their PlayStation 5 with the detachable disc drive later this year to cut down on the current PlayStation 5 costs, and the PlayStation 5 Pro is actually a brand new separate unit that may now instead be out by late 2024, with further information suggesting that we covered up as of yesterday that Sony has no plans for a PS6 before 2028. So, and also if you want to use this as a comparison, which I'm happy Paul did this, well, at the very least, the timing will add up. So if you also just want to use this as like a one-to-one, now obviously companies are different. Every console generation's different, market's different, technology's different, whatever. But if you look at the PlayStation 4 original release date, November 13th, 2013. Then what was the PlayStation 4 Pro release date? That was literally 3 years later, November 16th, 2016. And if you also look at the PlayStation 5, November 12th, 2020. So it's kind of like seems like a similar number where you guys look at the PS4 to PS5. That was what, a 7-year difference. And it's weirdly enough because we're actually getting close to year 3, like we're basically at year 2.5 of these consoles. So if you wanted to go ahead and kind of fit that same thing, it was 3 years for the Pro. But with this cycle, we can maybe add an extra year just because, number one, the optimization is very nice. We're still playing games on the PS4, so obviously that tech is like not as outdated even as of now. And as well, if it took an extra year for stat to become somewhat normalized, we could probably push that back. It's kind of like one of those things where, you know, it took you a little while, you don't mind waiting a little bit longer anyway, you know, it's fine. I think it's all around fine. So as of this point, it's around like a 7-year life cycle, which once again kind of correlates with all the dates. If we're looking at the PlayStation 5 Pro, which you are for this video, 4 years, one more extra year in comparison to the PS4 Pro makes sense. Like I said, you got a little bit of issues with semiconductors, production, shipping, and if they're trying to go pull at least like 60 to 70 or so consoles, million, probably even a little bit more, because then they want to have 60 by the end of this fiscal year, so it'd be around maybe the 70 million mark or so. That's a very high amount, especially because the PS4 is around 100 million. So if you're at around like 7 out of 10%, or 70% of all these numbers already filled, that means that it would make sense to release the PS5 Pro around that time. So, and also would make sense for the PS6. As we covered for yesterday's video, they want to have it no earlier than 2027 based on contract law and everything else, and that also maybe give the PlayStation 5 Pro around a good solid 3+ years and still probably be relevant for even longer as time goes on. So it does kind of seem like we're looking at, as of like kind of rewind this, a brand new reworked normal PlayStation as of this year, if everything goes correct. This is all still speculation. We're still waiting for more information. But if everything goes correct this year, we will go and maybe see more information on it. We might even see it like later on throughout this year. I'm probably maybe guessing around maybe the fall time or so, we'll have this brand new disc-less PlayStation 5 that you can buy the separate PlayStation 5 hard drive for games in case you guys want to buy physical games. Now, I'm assuming for the spec-wise, that console will be literally the same. That PlayStation 5, like with no drive or whatever, it'll probably just be a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit more efficient. So in terms of like specs, gaming specs, or like, you know, actual internal technology, I'm assuming nothing different will happen, which I think is a good sign. We don't want to have to worry about anything, big changes and stuff like that, which I think is good. Now, then when it comes after that one, we'll have probably at some point throughout this year, maybe around the summertime, we'll have a chance to have them talk about that. And then part 2, 2024, we can maybe have them start hyping up a 2024 holiday release date for the PlayStation 5 Pro. And that would actually maybe have a good correlation with maybe a big major game, possibly Wolverine. A lot of folks are on that one, because we'll probably see the new Slim for the basically 2023 maybe holidays, and they'll probably line up with maybe Spider-Man and maybe some other various games, and then maybe Wolverine or some big other heavy hitters may also go and take the reign. Or maybe something like a Last of Us multiplayer might be a good example too. There's a lot of games that are probably in the works that might be actually like staple games for the PS5 Pro. But I'm sure if you guys have a PlayStation right now, like I said, your specs are probably going to be the same as the Slim. It's probably going to take over a year and a half to even have a chance, like on a rumor, for a PS5 Pro. So if you guys are still looking for your console right now, I'd probably say it's probably fine. It's not going to be that much of a big leap. Unless you want to go get a PC instead, you guys can do whatever, and that's fine. And then as well, when it comes to PS6, at this point, like that's still far out. If they really do want to confirm on the PlayStation 5 Pro, that gives them a way bigger and longer buffer, because if anyone really wanted to have the upgrade, they probably just get the Pro instead. So say if anything, a holiday 2024 release date would be a year later than the Pro upgrade, as I mentioned, for the PS4 generation. So that makes some amount of sense, given the massive supply shortages the PS5 underwent during its first 2 years, as I went and covered, which are only now just starting to subside. In 2018, PS6 would also be 1 year past that PS4 generational length, but again, it lines up pretty well. And of course, right now, these consoles are very well optimized, and obviously, I'm sure devs are like already making games. Like for the big boys, they might already be making games for the PS6. I'm not even joking. Like a 5-year window, I mean, that's a long time, but if a game is like starting right this second, don't forget, like some big AAA games take 4, 5, 6 years, and even if they're efficient. So there actually might even be games as of right this second being made for the PlayStation 6, which is very intriguing to see. They also said the PS4 launched at $400 in 2013. PS4 Pro also launched at $400 3 years later, and then Sony sells the $400 and $500 PS5 models based on the disk drive, and it remains to be seen whether or not there would be multiple versions of the PS5 Pro, or if there's going to be the optimal disk drive. I'm probably going to go and assume it'll all be on the same optical disk drive myself, and they're saying it won't be more than $500, I mean, depending on when it comes out, I can maybe see a $600 one if inflation keeps pushing, mainly because don't forget, we also had the consoles moved to $550 as well legally. We also had Tom also make a comment saying too, I know today's PS5 Pro report was most likely a trust me bro type video, but he'll talk about it more when he can. I also don't really know why they're getting mid-gen upgrades, but they seemingly are. So trust the process. We'll try to trust them out over here for the video, and I hope you guys all enjoy. As well, I'm going to spend the rest of my day doing errands. We might have a few more videos out today or tomorrow. Be on the lookout for them. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below if you guys want to follow, and the Target Amazon links too for consoles. And I appreciate you guys all so much here for watching in the first place.